I'm Claire, and I will be providing an introduction for this video. So job performance is defined as the value of the set of employee behaviors that contribute, either positively or negatively, to organizational goal accomplishment. Job performance is comprised of task performance, citizenship behavior, and counterproductive behavior. Job performance is highly dependent on both ability and motivation. Throughout this video, we will investigate the impact that intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation have on job performance, and will argue that intrinsic motivators are more effective in improving job performance than extrinsic motivators are.
Intrinsic motivation is driven by internal rewards and by the satisfaction or pleasure of engaging in an activity. We put forth work effort because of a reward we feel within, completing tasks to feel a sense of enjoyment, interestingness, and accomplishment. An example of intrinsic motivation is participating in a sport because of pure enjoyment. In contrast, extrinsic motivation is driven by external rewards. We engage in an activity to earn a reward or avoid punishments. We put forth effort to receive a paycheck, promotions, praise, and job security. An example of extrinsic motivation is participating in a sport to win awards. An understanding of the benefits and the drawbacks of each type of motivation is crucial for organizational success, as motivated employees are much more likely to be high-quality job performers.
I will be performing a cross-analysis of extrinsic and intrinsic motivation and task performance. Task performance is one of the three main elements that make up job performance and can be defined as employee behaviors that is directly linked in the transformation of organizational resources into goods and services. There is some positive evidence linking extrinsic motivation and routine task performance, but much is negative. Performance-based rewards can alienate and dehumanize the worker if the reward is not substantial. I found that intrinsic motivation is crucial to creativity. In order to perform creative tasks, an employee must have a genuine interest in the subject, which leads to voluntary investigation and new ideas. Financial rewards and other extrinsic motivations are not able to fabricate creativity. It comes from within. The results point at intrinsic motivation having a more positive effect on job performance overall, but there were situations where extrinsic motivation could be used in combination to achieve higher results.
The first aspect of job performance that we looked at was citizenship behavior and its relation to extrinsic and intrinsic motivators. The definition of citizenship behavior is employees working towards an organization to improve it, whether it be organizationally or interpersonally. I first looked at a research paper where they identified the early works of Dennis Organ, where he believed that altruism and conscientiousness were both two factors that often led to citizenship behavior in an organization. These two forms are examples of intrinsic motivators. Later, in a more recent study, two researchers actually believed that conscientiousness wasn't in relation to citizenship behavior because they believed that managers actually wanted and expected their employees to be conscientious and have these aspects to their job performance. I also looked at another study where they assessed individualistic and collectivist characteristics in employees. They believe that individualistic people would be more likely to work at an organization based on its compensation, whereas collectivist people would be more likely to work at an organization based on the people that work there. Based on this, they believe that intrinsic motivators would be more likely to lead to citizenship behavior, and therefore I came to this conclusion at the end of my research.
The third main element of job performance is counterproductive behavior. This is referred to as employee behaviors that intentionally hinder organizational goal accomplishment. Examples of this type of behavior are production deviance, political deviance, property deviance, and personal aggression. To start, I looked at research regarding the impact of situational influences on counterproductive behavior. Specifically, the situational influences I focused on were perceptions of justice, such as procedural and distributive justice, as well as organizational constraints and how the misuse of extrinsic motivators led to counterproductive behavior. I then looked at research on the specific types of counterproductive behavior, whether serious or minor, and how those motivated intrinsically are more likely to perform minor, unintentional counterproductive behavior, whereas those motivated extrinsically are more likely to engage in serious counterproductive behavior. Through this research, I found that through the misuse of extrinsic motivators, it is more likely to lead to serious counterproductive behavior rather than intrinsic motivators.
Okay, so can you start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Sarah Commandante, and I'm a second-year human kinetics student. I'm also a bartender at the Golden X Inn here on campus, and I work as a house president of O'Regan Hall for the St. FX Students Union.
So, do you believe you're intrinsically or extrinsically motivated to work in general?
In general, I definitely think that I'm more intrinsically motivated to work.
And what about at your two jobs at the inn and here?
At first, I would say I was a little more extrinsically motivated to work at the inn just because I was a college student who needed some money, but after forming the relationships that I have with both the staff at the inn and the customers, I'm definitely a lot more intrinsically motivated now. I love being at work. And as far as being a house president, I really don't get paid much for this job, so I'm more intrinsically motivated to do the work that I'm doing because I want to be there.
Okay, and in terms of your citizenship behavior at both of these jobs, do you believe you're more intrinsically motivated or extrinsically motivated to perform citizenship behavior?
I'm definitely more intrinsically motivated to perform citizenship behavior because of the whole purpose of citizenship behavior, that I know that I'm not necessarily going to get compensated or acknowledged for the work that I'm doing, but because I'm doing that for the sake of helping other people and because I want to do that, I'm a lot more motivated from that.
And then just in general, which do you believe is more effective in terms of job performance, extrinsic or intrinsic motivation?
I think that intrinsic motivation is a much more effective motivational tool because when you're extrinsically motivated, you are only going to be motivated as long as those extrinsic factors are still coming in, but you need to be intrinsically motivated to want to stay somewhere and develop that adherence to a job.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so can you just start off by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Lyndon Warner. Currently in my fourth year of business, major in marketing. From Ottawa, Ontario, and I am currently working at the Alumni House as a student ambassador.
Great. So do you think for yourself you're more intrinsically or extrinsically motivated to work in general?
I think it's a mix of both, but right now I'd have to say extrinsically. Just due to student debt and bills to pay, so I'd say, yeah, extrinsically right now, for sure.
Great. And then so for specific to your job, what would you say more so, extrinsic or intrinsic?
I'd say intrinsic. I feel it's, always important to be happy, and if you don't love what you're doing, then there's no point in doing it. But
so for the same thing in general, like which one do you believe is more effective in terms of job performance, extrinsic or intrinsic motivation?
It's a hard question. I'd say extrinsic, especially when you get older and you have a family. There's other responsibilities you have to consider and other people to consider, so probably extrinsic, just because you have to support not only yourself but other people.
Great, thanks.
My name is Rachel Martin. I'm in fourth year. I'm in psychology and I work at YMCA Camp Pinecrest.
Are you intrinsically or extrinsically motivated in your job?
I'd say that I'm definitely intrinsically motivated, just because I love camp and I'm super passionate about it, and it's definitely somewhere that I want to be and want to spend my summers.
So our research question is intrinsic motivation or extrinsic motivation a more effective predictor of job performance? And what do you think about that?
I definitely say intrinsic because even as a student, where I need a lot of money during the years and it's hard to come by that money in the summer when you only have 4 months to make it, I still find myself returning to camp every summer just because it's what I love, and even though I only make $4 an hour there, I'm motivated just by the fact that I love it and it's my passion. So I definitely say that intrinsic motivation is stronger.
Throughout this video, we have argued that intrinsic motivation has a stronger impact on job performance than extrinsic motivation does. We have done this through employee interviews and an investigation of the impact that both intrinsic and extrinsic motivation have on the three aspects that comprise a good performer in an organization. These findings are important because an organization or management team that is able to foster a high quality of job performance behaviors within their organization will be rewarded with better outcomes associated with those behaviors, whether that be an increase in productivity, profits, or creativity. Thank you for watching our presentation.